Do you have feelings? Of course you do, or maybe not. Many people do not have feelings or find it difficult to name them. This creates huge problems for the individuals, both internally and in their dealing with other people in the world. You need to act on the findings of this video. This video was originally conceived as a series of 5 short-form videos for YouTube called Unlocking Male Psychology. As such, the content is primarily focused on men, but its principles also extend to other groups. In this video, we are going to discover how feelings are constructed. Chapter 1. Basic feelings which you may have. Chapter 2. Some more complex, subtle feelings which you may also have constructed. Chapter 3. How, as men, our construction of feelings is affected by societal roles and expectations. Chapter 4. And finally, how psychology is of little to no use to people without feelings. Chapter 5. Feelings are an integral part of most people's lives, right? You're a baby, you piss, you shit, you cry. A woman guesses what you need, changes your nappy, comfortable and clean. Puts her nipple in your mouth, you suckle and are satisfied. Puts food in your mouth, you salivate, you swallow and are satisfied. That woman fusses over you and your bodily sensations. She makes sounds, thirsty, hungry, dirty. You associate these sounds with sensations in your body. You cry, she satisfies your needs, you feel better. So you learn the calculus of feeling. Later you learn other associations. Fear, anger, disgust, sadness, joy. So, what are feelings? Feelings are groups of bodily sensations that you associate with the sounds, the words she speaks. Or feelings are the sensations inside your body which are labeled by your mother. Hungry, thirsty, dirty, angry, afraid, happy. So what? Next we will learn what can go right and wrong. What feelings do you have? Let's find out. In Chapter 1, we learned that feelings are groups of bodily sensations associated with the sounds our mothers make, thirsty, hungry, dirty, and that she magically understands and satisfies what these sensations need. No longer hungry, thirsty or dirty, she takes pain and discomfort and takes them away. But sometimes she doesn't come. Sometimes she doesn't make bad feelings go away. Our pain goes on. We cry louder. We scream. We learn frustration, anger, rage. That is, we learn our most familiar feeling, the one that accompanies us throughout life. For most of us, this is the only higher-level feeling that we learn, beyond bodily needs. Along the way, we learn that pain and pleasure are the basic signposts of all our frustrations and joys. So the feelings you have are anger, pain, and pleasure. So what? If you are lucky, you learn other feelings, more subtle, complex ones, and we'll learn about those in Chapter 3. More feelings, or maybe not? So you're angry. Is that all you've got? In Chapter 1, we learned that feelings are labeled groups of bodily sensations. In Part 2, we learned about pain and pleasure, about frustration, anger and rage. So, what now? We most certainly learn about disgust. We smell our own shit. Disgusting. We most certainly learn about fear. It's dark. We are alone. We are afraid. We learn about relief as our mothers meet our needs. Hopefully, we learn about happiness and joy as our mothers play with us. Maybe even affection, warmth and love as our mothers cosset us. Ideally, we have all of these feelings as groups of sensations, and we associate them with their labels as we learn to speak. But there likely remain groups of bodily sensations that remain ambiguous, uncertain, unlabeled. These remaining sensations come to be labeled as anxiety. They are the residue of unlabeled and unresolved sensations that were there. From the beginning, the chaos before our mothers gave us labels to make sense of the chaos. That is, anxiety is and always has been there. In moderate and extreme cases, it is painful, scary. And we either learn to regulate these feelings with our mother's help, or we are tormented by them, terrorized by them. They either shut us down, or we react to their presence with anger or rage. We act out. And in turn, we learn that acting out is something that causes our mothers to become upset and to deny our needs. So, to avoid mother's wrath, we learn to sublimate these sensations, and they fester and boil inside us. We can't get rid of them. They hurt us, so we harbor frustration. At them, at our mothers. Frustration, that can escalate readily and rapidly to anger or rage. So the answer is yes. You have pain and pleasure. You have frustration, anger and rage. And maybe, if you are lucky, you have warmth, affection and love. But even if you do have all of these feelings, you will be conditioned out of them. And that is the subject of Chapter 4. Don't be a baby, don't cry, or you better learn not to see or listen to your inner world. So what happens to your feelings as you grow up? Let's find out. So far we've learned what feelings are, what feelings you have, and what feelings you likely developed. Now things turn darker. Our mothers hopefully nurtured us, but as we leave the folds of our mother's skirts, we develop a sense of self. We learn what it means to be a boy, to be masculine. Don't cry, compete, hide your pain. Act out, be aggressive, vent your frustration, anger, and rage. Become a man. In some cases, this is with a strong male presence. But for many of us, we have to make it up for ourselves. And give or take, we learn that feelings are for girls and are not something that we need or can use in the masculine world. We focus outwards, compete, bury our feelings. We become men, real men. We disconnect from our bodies, but our bodies continue to experience life and keep the score. Continue to bear anxiety, frustration, anger, rage, fear, and pain. Sure, some of us can still experience pleasure, but there is a massive shadow hanging over us. The burdens of being a man, and so we go out into the world and wreak havoc on others, on the planet, and disturbingly and unknowingly, on ourselves. And this is where men find themselves, disconnected from their bodies and at war with the world. What happened to our feelings as we grew up? They were buried. They were transfigured. They became useless to us as men. So this is where we find ourselves, disconnected from ourselves, from each other and life. And in Chapter 5 we will find out why we don't need psychology. You act out. You're toxic. Of course, you're a man. Here we will find out why psychology is useless for men. So, we've come a long way, learning about feelings and their demise in our lives. Men live outside their bodies. They act in the world, for good and bad. They are engines of progress. Some say toxicity. Some actions are great. Some actions are atrocious. And as long as they aren't definitively bad or mad, men get on with shaping the world, for better, for worse. But, eventually, the disconnection we found earlier between a man and his body becomes problematic. Others judge us as toxic. We kill ourselves and others. We cause pain to ourselves and others. We become dysfunctional. And, the solution? We are asked how we feel. That is, we fall into the comforting arms of psychology. But psychology relies upon the very things that we have learned not to trust: feelings. Society demands that men are unfeeling machines. Psychology demands that men feel. These two projects are irreconcilable. So, men are left in limbo, prey to uncertainty, doubt, and anxiety, the essence of our being that we should have learned to tame in our formative years. Psychology is useless to men because our society demands of us a disconnection from our bodies. Our sensations, our feelings, the essence of who we are. And so men are suspended between two entrenched and disparate contexts. Feel, don't feel. The result, tension, anxiety, dissolution, destruction of self and others. So what is to be done? The answer is that men must act on society to make it accommodate their humanity, and must reimagine psychology as a source of succor, not as an affront to their socially constructed selves, their masculinity. Perhaps AI will favor us with the leisure to reformulate what it means to be a man, or perhaps we will find ways to continue to act out that causes yet greater damage to others, the world and ourselves. The answer to this question is up to you. To us, if we can get our shit together. Join our community. Now, if this struck a chord, don't just stop here. Dive into existential neurobiology, a map for being real, existential and visceral, that transcends mere psychology, a place to see for better being. Click the link on the screen to dive deeper. See you inside.